Lorgar Aurelian was never like his brothers. Where the other Primarchs were forged to conquer, to build, to destroy, Lorgar was born to believe. He looked at the galaxy, not as a battlefield, but as a cathedral. Every star, every world, every life was part of some greater design, and all he ever wanted was to worship something worthy of devotion. When the Emperor found Lorgar on Colchis, he found not just a son, but a prophet. Colchis was a world steeped in faith, divided between zealots who saw gods in the sky and cynics who saw only power. Lorgar was raised by the Covenant, a priesthood that preached unity beneath a single divine truth. He grew up with scripture on his lips, sermons in his heart, and an unshakable need to bow before the sacred. So when the Emperor revealed himself, radiant, unstoppable, a being who conquered the heavens with armies of angels, Lorgar fell to his knees. To him, the Emperor was not just a leader. He was God. But the Emperor did not want worship. He had built his empire upon reason, not prayer, upon science, not superstition. The Great Crusade was not just about conquest, it was about destroying belief, eradicating gods, stamping out cults, replacing shrines with logic and truth. And so, from the very beginning, father and son were doomed to clash. Because the Emperor demanded obedience, but Lorgar demanded faith. As Primarch of the Word-Bearers, Lorgar turned every battle into a pilgrimage. Every city he conquered became a sermon. Every victory a scripture. His legion was not like the others. They did not simply burn their enemies, they converted them. Where the World-Eaters left corpses, the Word-Bearers left worshippers. Where the Ultramarines built cities, the Word-Bearers built temples. World after world fell to the Great Crusade, and on every one, Lorgar built monuments to the Emperor. Vast cathedrals, golden statues, holy icons carved into mountainsides. And he believed, with every beat of his two hearts, that he was pleasing his father. But the Emperor did not see devotion. He saw weakness, and when the time came, he struck Lorgar down in the most humiliating way possible. The Ultramarines, under Robut Guilliman, were sent to burn one of Lorgar's greatest creations, the city of Monarchia. It was a perfect city, a monument to faith, every street and pillar designed as an offering to the Emperor. But before Lorgar's eyes, it was reduced to ash. The Word-Bearers were forced to kneel in the ruins, beaten and shamed, as the Emperor himself declared, "I am no god. I am a man, and you will worship me no longer." That moment broke Lorgar. All of his life, he had sought the divine. All of his faith, all of his love, all of his worship had been for nothing. The Emperor was not a god. He was a tyrant who demanded loyalty, but offered no divinity in return. Lorgar's heart curdled into bitterness, and in that bitterness he began to look elsewhere. If the Emperor was not a god, then who was? The galaxy was vast, the warp was deep, and in the whispers of the Imperium, Lorgar began to hear voices. They did not demand silence. They did not reject worship. They welcomed it. They craved it. And they rewarded it. Lorgar's pilgrimage into the Eye of Terror was not an accident. It was destiny. He led his most loyal Word-Bearers into the heart of the warp, searching for answers his father had denied him. And there, he found them. The Chaos Gods revealed themselves not as myths, not as figments of human fear, but as living powers that shaped reality itself. Khorne, Lord of Blood. Nurgle, Lord of Decay. Tzeentch, Lord of Change. Slaanesh, Lord of Excess. They offered everything the Emperor denied, purpose, transcendence, divinity. And Lorgar bowed his head. When he returned to real space, he was no longer just a Primarch. He was a prophet. His word-bearers spread across the galaxy, planting seeds of corruption. They whispered to other legions, to mortal governors, to cults hiding in the shadows. They taught men to pray not to the Emperor, but to the warp. And slowly, the foundations of the Imperium began to rot. It was Lorgar who first saw Horus as the weapon Chaos would use to break the galaxy. He guided Erebus, his chosen priest, to place the serpent at Horus's heel. It was the word-bearers who led Horus to Davin, where his wound opened the door to corruption. And it was Lorgar who whispered that the Emperor was not a father, but a jailer. Not a god, but a liar. The greatest betrayal of the heresy wasn't Horus turning. It was Lorgar, kneeling in shadows, smiling as the trap closed. The irony of Lorgar's fall is that he never truly changed. He always wanted the same thing: faith, worship, truth. But where once he believed the Emperor was God, now he believed Chaos was God. And in his devotion, he damned not only himself, but his legion, and eventually the entire Imperium. The birth of Chaos worship in the legions was not a sudden act of rebellion. It was a slow infection, spreading like scripture from one heart to another. And at the center of it all was Lorgar, the preacher who loved too deeply, who believed too fiercely, and who found in Chaos the divinity his father denied him. He was not the strongest, nor the boldest, nor the greatest of the Primarchs. But in the end, he was the most dangerous. Because ideas are harder to kill than armies, and belief can damn a galaxy more surely than any blade.